Hi, welcome. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Cohen. I'm going to be your instructor for this course, which is, well, depending on what semester you're seeing this, I guess, it could be called Communication Campaigns or it could be called Social Marketing. Kind of in a little bit of a transition in terms of figuring out the title. I've actually, well, I know we have been calling it communication campaigns in the past, but I thought that was too broad because there's so many different types of communication campaigns. I wanted to call it specifically social marketing, which is really what this class focuses on, which is talking about the type of communication campaign designed to influence people's social behaviors or public health behaviors, those types of things, in a very pro-social way. So this isn't a class about political campaigns. This isn't a class about advertising campaigns, although I think you'll learn really quickly that we actually, in order to learn what social marketing is, have to borrow from all of the other areas on campaigns. So it is really a class about communication campaigns, but to narrow the focus a little bit, we're just going to be talking about social marketing. So that was, if that's not clear, don't worry. We're going to spend several weeks talking about what social marketing is. So don't let that discourage you. This is just supposed to be a really quick introduction. Quick. I always put quotations around that. It's all relative. What you think is quick is about 15 minutes. I just want to go over some of the highlights of your syllabus and what we're going to be doing this semester to kind of give you an idea of what to expect and to just talk about some of the things that I expect during the semester to make sure that things go smoothly. First of all, if you haven't, please go on eCampus and find this guy. It won't be in paper form. If you want it in paper form, you can certainly print it out yourself. This is your syllabus, and it's got a description of the course. It's got information about different things you would need for this class, which really I think the only big thing is, get this. I'm going to need to get this book right here. Yours will not be as dog-eared as mine, but actually it could be if you get it used, I guess. I do think you can rent it pretty easily too. This is really important though because I actually teach this class very close to the book. So if there are things you don't understand in my lecture, you can usually find what you need in the book. If there are things you don't understand in the book, of course, maybe you can use my lectures to sort of supplement that. But the bottom line is I have tried to, as closely as possible, design this class so that as you're going through each unit in the book, I have assignments attached to that. So this is actually, I mean, everybody says books are required, but I mean, and especially in a class like this, this is kind of like your Bible. So make sure you get that if you haven't already. Some people have asked if they can get an older version of the book. To be honest with you, I don't know. Ever since I've been teaching this class, this is about, I think this is going to be the 5th time I'm teaching it. I've used this book, so I haven't really compared it to the old versions. But I think it's relatively affordable, so there shouldn't really be a need to go back to older versions. And if you do get the older version, it can't help you in terms of finding, you know, what page you should be on and stuff like that. So make sure you get the book. If I ever have extra readings, which sometimes I might just add just supplemental things to like help you out, like, oh, you know, we were just talking about this, or and I saw it in the news, you know, that could come up, but I would post it on eCampus and I'd let you know about it. But normally that doesn't happen. So the book is the only thing you're going to need. One of the things I've heard from people who've taken the class before is what they really like about the class is we get into a very repeatable routine. Yeah, we get into a routine that people really appreciate, because one of the advantages of this course is, you know, obviously you're probably taking this course and maybe even in this degree because it's very flexible, and we want to make the program as accommodating for people as possible who are doing different things. A lot of you are working full-time, probably most of you are, and we have a lot of non-traditional students, and that's what we want. So I've really tried very hard to make it such that basically every week is going to be more or less the same in terms of what you need to do. So you'll have this checklist and everything is going to be due, if something is due that week, at 11:59 p.m. on Sundays. And you're always going to have a reading, you're always going to have a summary lecture, which is kind of optional to watch, but I think it's really helpful if you do, which is just me. I mean, it's literally this. So if you don't want to look at me, you can just, you know, cover your screen and, you know, turn on the audio. And then you're always going to have some sort of assignment. at the beginning, it's going to be a lot of quizzes that you'll have to take, but then most of the semester we're going to be doing worksheets. And so the pace of this course is really, it's really sort of established by how you want to do stuff. I mean, at bare minimum, you're going to have something due each week at the same time, but with the exception of a couple of discussion posts we're going to have throughout the semester, everything is going to be up for your discretion in terms of when you want to do it, so long as you get it done by that Sunday deadline. That's the advantage of this course. Everything is asynchronous. You don't have to show up at one time for a lecture. You can do things at your own pace. The downside of that is that if you're really bad at sort of setting up your schedule and getting yourself on routines, or I guess it's kind of like a self-motivation, those types of things, this could be really difficult for you because you won't be getting constant reminders. The idea is after a couple weeks you should kind of get into a groove where you get used to doing the same things each week. But if you're going to struggle with that, then you're going to struggle with this class. What I really, really recommend doing is setting up your own calendar if you don't already have one that actually comes up with reminders and stuff. Sometimes eCampus will do that for you, because I do have like deadlines and it'll say like, oh, this is due. But if you don't check eCampus a whole lot, then it's not going to, obviously that system's not going to work for you. You can see in the syllabus, like I've got this nice like schedule, and it tells you what topic we're covering each week, and then it has like all the assignments listed down here. What I would do is, if you can, just take this and input it into your calendar. And input it into your calendar at the beginning of the semester, so you get little alerts or whatever sort of reminders you need so that you can keep up with things. I will at the beginning of the week, usually, because what will happen is you'll turn in an assignment on Sunday, I'll grade it on Monday, and then I'll usually send out some sort of announcement, just talking to you about observations I've had about the work you've done, just in general to the class, not necessarily directly to you. And so I'll give you reminders in that way. But besides that, it's going to be very... a lot of the work is going to be very independent, so you're just going to have to rely on yourself to make sure that you're keeping up. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to mention before I talk about the specific types of assignments is how to get in touch with me. You will notice that I have my cell phone number up here at the beginning of the syllabus here. I actually probably will, I expect, talk to probably like half of you, maybe, if it's anything like other semesters, on the phone. Part of the reason is just because this is an online thing and I can talk to you like this, but you can't talk back. A lot gets lost in the process, and we can email, but I find that it's just not as efficient, and sometimes there are miscommunications that can just be like so easily cleared up if we just talk for 5 minutes. So having said that, I really want to encourage you, if there's something that's not clear, to just set up a time to talk to me. Sometimes I'll specifically reach out and I'll say, hey, can we set up a time to talk to make sure that you're clear on this? Because the other problem for me in teaching these online classes, there's so many great things about them, but one of the things I really hate about it is I can't tell, I don't get any feedback, so I don't know like if when I say something, the class is understanding or not. And so I really appreciate the opportunity to just sometimes talk in person, but on the phone, or in my office. Some of you might work on campus or near campus, or you're in Morgantown. I have regular office hours, but just because I have other students, what I would always suggest is send me an email. And my email's on the syllabus, elizabeth.cohen@mail.wvu.edu, and just say, hey, can we set up a time to talk on the phone, or would you mind if I should stop by your office? And then we can communicate with more synchronicity that way. So please, please, please keep that in your back pocket, because some of these assignments, what'll start to happen is they start off, I would say, the assignment, in my opinion, everybody has different experiences. In my opinion, the assignments start off pretty self-explanatory and pretty easy. And then we start doing these worksheets each week, which start off pretty good, but then very quickly become out of people's comfort zone. That they ask you to do activities and think about things that you probably haven't done before. And that's when I find that, I'll leave people feedback and I'm not sure if that feedback is clear enough, because it's just written and I don't get the feedback and stuff like that. And if you ever feel yourself struggling, try to do your assignments at least a day or two at a time. So that way, if there's some sort of question you have, then we can set up a time to talk about it, or whatever you need. Okay, so the grades, you can see, on this page with Morpheus from The Matrix, it's got the breakdown of your grades. The first thing on there is a syllabus and eCampus quiz, which you need to do right now. I want you to go on eCampus, and in the same folder that your syllabus is, wherever you found the syllabus, you'll see a quiz there, and you can take this quiz as many times as you need to until you get all the questions right, because the whole point of this is that to make sure that you understand how the course is going to run. So just keep doing it until you get it right. And then you'll see a big bulk of your grade is this assignment and discussion category. We have very few, I think maybe only 2 discussions. We don't do a lot of discussion board posts in this class. I did that deliberately because I just found in my online classes, especially when, everybody in the class is doing different things. And as I mentioned before, in this program, everybody's got so much going on. It's just hard to really push people to contribute throughout the week to make a really good discussion board. Sometimes I think we need it because we need to help people brainstorm. And in those weeks, I'm going to ask you to just at least start posting before Thursday, so by Wednesday night. So you still have a couple days to get into it. But again, that's not going to happen most of the time. Most of the time, your assignments are going to be, like I said before, some sort of quiz, but more often than not, a worksheet. These worksheets are going to be posted in your weekly content folder. So basically, this course is, like I said, organized by the week. So you can go into eCampus, you can find the week that we're on, and in that folder, it'll have all of the things you need for that week, including the summary lecture, the reading assignment, the objectives, the stuff you're supposed to accomplish that week. And then if you have a worksheet, for instance, you can download the worksheet from that folder, and it's usually a Word document, so you can type directly on it. And when you're done, you're going to go back to that folder, and there's a little portal where you can turn it in. It's called Turn It In. How clever, right? The reason I use those Turn It In links, I should tell you, they're really set up to catch plagiarism. But on the worksheets, there's really not much room for plagiarism. I mean, in some cases there is, but that's not why I set it up like that. What I like about the Turn It In portals is once you turn it in, I can grade everything from that portal, and then when I'm done grading it, I don't have to email it back to you. It's just automatically there. So I type my comments directly in to what you submitted there, and then when I'm done, the minute I'm done, you can just go and check your comments. Make sure you read the instructions on how to see my comments, because I really want to make sure that you're getting feedback on these assignments. You're going to have to go back into the place that Turn It In portal, the place that you turned in the assignment, and then there's a tab that says Grade Mark. Once you click on that, you should be able to see my comments on the work that you submitted. And as I mentioned before, my plan is if you guys submit these things by Sunday night, my plan is to spend Monday grading them. So hopefully by, Monday night or at the latest Tuesday morning, I'll have your assignments from last week graded, and hopefully that'll, make it easier for you to do your assignments for the next week. And the whole point of this, all of these mini assignments throughout the semester, the whole point of this is each little assignment is a little piece of what should eventually become a final campaign proposal. And so that's the next part of your final grade here, is that at the end of the semester, you're going to turn in this final proposal of a social marketing campaign that you want to do. At the beginning of the semester, you're going to pick the topic, generally what sort of issue do you want to address. Like I said, social marketing campaigns deal with public health issues or environmental issues. It's all about influencing people's behavior to try to get people to do things that are better for them or better for their community or better for the environment or things like that. So you're going to pick that, and then each little step, each little week that we do one of these assignments, it adds another component that you're going to end up putting in your social marketing proposal at the end, which is, you could look at it like the proposal is really like your final paper. But I really hope if you do this right, you shouldn't have, everybody's going to have a lot to do at the end. You're still going to have to type up the proposal, but it's my goal that if you do all of the worksheets each week and you really keep up with that, you should have all of the little components that you need to put into your final proposal. So each week during the semester, you're kind of completing a part of the proposal, and then at the end, what you have to do is kind of glue it all together, right? Or nail it all together, or whatever metaphor you need, you know? So the way I want you to look at this is each week, you're basically doing part of your final project. And if this isn't clear now, I really hope it becomes more clear later, and I'm going to keep emphasizing it. Even in your worksheets, it'll say things like, when you write this, try to write it like you would if you were writing it for your final proposal. And the goal is that even though there might be some changes that you have to do, if I give you some feedback and I say, oh, you know what, you should take this out, or you should add this, or whatever, for the most part, I really want it to make it easy for you at the end to just kind of plug in the little pieces that you have in your worksheets to your proposal, so you won't have, it's not like you're going to be starting from scratch when you start your final project. And then finally, once everybody turns in their campaign proposal, which will be right before the Thanksgiving break, by the way, the week that you come back from Thanksgiving, it's just funny for an online class, you're not really coming back. The week that you come back, what's going to happen is everybody's then going to do a video, just like what I'm doing right now, and you're just going to kind of do, I call it like a show and tell, like a campaign pitch, where you can kind of share everything that you've thought about, the things that you're most excited about regarding your campaign, maybe some visuals that you've put together and you can show those things to the class. Very short video, it's not supposed to be long at all. It'll get you hopefully a little bit more comfortable with, you know, making a YouTube video in case you ever need to do that. But I like it to be kind of a fun, you know, cherry on top of the semester. That's how I look at it. Because, you know, all semester long I'm like talking to you, and then, you know, finally at the end I get to see everybody's face presenting their campaign, and it's like, oh, that's not what I thought you looked like. So I really look forward to that for a lot of reasons. But that's it. So you've got the syllabus quiz, which you need to do now this week. You've got assignments and discussions. And then you've got your final proposal, which will be built out of those assignments and discussions. And then finally, you'll do a little video summary that you post at the end. And then people will respond and talk about it. And those are all the major components of your final grade in this class. Some important things. I don't accept late work. I mean, part of this is just for my own sanity. Like, the way I look at it is like you have all week to complete assignments, and you can choose any time you need during that week to do the assignment. So, and I plan my Mondays around grading. So after that, I don't want to be grading anymore. You know, I mean, it's sort of like my routine. So there's definitely a cutoff of 11:59 on Sundays for your assignments. Your proposal is a little bit different because it's bigger. You know, if you turn in your campaign proposal late, I will just dock points for every day it's late. All that stuff's on your syllabus. The other stuff is pretty, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, I think that really does cover the highlights. So, you know, just leading into this, the only thing I really need you to do this week, which, you know, it's a short week because everything starts on Wednesday, go ahead and go on the discussion board, in part just to familiarize yourself with the discussion board, but in part so I know who's here. Some of you guys I know probably already know each other from other classes, and so you get to kind of hear the same things over and over again. And for that, I apologize, but I would really appreciate an introduction. Just sort of like bop in, tell me a little bit about yourself, if you can, and you don't have to, but if you can, put a photo, like, in your eCampus profile so that I have kind of like an image to, you know, associate your profile with. That would be super helpful. So thank you in advance if you can do that. But again, no hard feelings if you don't. And yeah, that pretty much covers it. So please, you know, if you have any questions, send me an email. I will see you on the discussion board. And don't forget to take that eCampus syllabus quiz as soon as you get a chance. I'm looking forward to the semester. Have a good one.